So in order to be very, very punctual and respect the people that connected on time, we are going to start. Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. We're so happy to have you here with us today for ASACOPY's webinar, or in this case, an informative talk. So teachers, whether this is your first time joining us on one of these events, or if you are already part of our community, thank you so much for being here. As you know, or may not know, my name is Andrea Cardona, and I am ASACOPY's spokesperson. And just a quick word about ASACOPY. Remember, we are Colombia's National Association of English Teachers, and this year is our 60th anniversary. So for 60 years, we've been building a professional community that supports English educators across the country through what? Through research, collaboration, and also professional development opportunities, such as the one that we are having right now. So we have a great session lineup for you today. And well, this is just one of the many activities that we organize. So we invite you to follow us on our social media. We are going to leave them in a moment for you to follow us there. Just stay updated on future webinars, courses, special events. And teachers, speaking of events, don't miss our annual conference happening this year in Santa Marta. So it's going to be a fantastic opportunity to meet fellow educators, share your experiences, also grow together as a teacher community. And I have some special words and invitation from our president. So I'm going to share this with you. Welcome.
This year, we're celebrating our 60th anniversary. Come join us next October the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th. We can't wait to meet you all here in Santa Marta.
Remember that ASACOPY, it's you, me, and all of us.
Come to celebrate with us.
Teachers is going to be fantastic. So join us there. We hope to see many of you in Santa Marta. So joining us today, we have Andrés Bernal Suarez, and Mr. Bernal is the Director of Global Partnerships at AVANT Assessment. And with over 20 years of experience in education, including more than 8 years as a school leader, he led a second language program in South Carolina that served more than 26,000 students, inspiring linguistics and cultural growth. So he spearheaded several initiatives to close the achievement gap in ESOL programs, significantly increasing student success. So that's great. Now, under his leadership, the percentage of multilingual learning students exiting the ESOL program grew by 150% over 3 years. So Mr. Bernal also expanded the reach of the South Carolina Seal of Biliteracy, enabling students from diverse linguistic backgrounds to receive official recognition for their proficiency in multiple languages. And his program included a variety of languages, including Spanish, Chinese, Mandarin, French, and German, as well as dual language immersion, so the DLI program. So without any more introductions, I want to welcome Mr. Bernal. So Andres, the floor is all yours. I'm going to start sharing my screen.
Awesome. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. And it's nice to see in the chat and in the attendee list some familiar faces. So thank you, everyone, for coming today to learn more about Seals of Biliteracy. It's an update on assessment and accreditation. So before we start, I will put on the chat, actually, Andrea, thank you very much. Andrea has placed in the chat the link to our Nearpod presentation. So you can click, or you can use your cell phone. Actually, it would be much better if you use your cell phone, and you can visit our Nearpod location. So you can visit the www.nearpod.com/student. So I put in there in the chat, and there is a code that will work for you to log in. The code, if you use your cell phone, is 25 V as in Victor, W as in Win, D. If you check in your phone, please let's use it so you can connect and have the presentation directly in your cell phones and also in your computer. We'll talk about Nearpod later on. Okay, so seals of Biliteracy. Let's start by answering this question. Is going to be our roster to just be sure how many people attended and credits that need to be given for professional learning. So enter your name, the organization, if you are at the university level, a school level, language institute, and your email. We're just going to keep giving you a couple of minutes for you to complete. I have seen that Fanny, Adriana, Andrea has joined the presentation. So please, I encourage everybody to do it so you can be part of the whole engaging piece of the training that we're going to have. Okay. I saw Carolina also join. I have 11 participants. I'm trying to see that all the people also join. Andrea, Andres, Adriana, Carolina. So everybody, I'm just going to remember. Now I see that Yuli, Kathy, Median has joined. Please, let's try to complete the form that is on your screen. If you are confused how to get there, please visit our chat here on Meet. So you will be able to visit nearpod.com and use this code so we all can start working on these. Okay, so while you're completing that form, I will need more people to join. Here we go. Thank you very much for people who are completing this survey. Okay, so my name is Andres Bernal. I'm the Director of Global Partnerships for AVANT Assessment, but I want to let you know a little bit about me and what I am passionate about: language education. I studied in Cali, Colombia years ago, many, many years ago. And when I was in high school, I failed English to the point that my English teacher in 8th grade told me, Andres, I'm going to give you an acceptable because you will never be able to speak another language. And that's how my English teacher encouraged students to get better. I was fortunate to go to college and decided to study languages. I don't know why, after I have failed English. And my strongest suit was always math and chemistry. But I decided to study foreign languages. And years later, I visited the school where I graduated from, and I met that teacher. My English has gotten a little bit better, and I tried to have a conversation with this teacher who told me you will never be able to speak another language. And good surprise, she didn't speak English well. So that was another reasoning to tell me you need to go into education and try to make a big difference for what children are experiencing in their classrooms. So that's fast forward. I moved to the United States 13 years ago. I was a director of second language acquisition in a school district in South Carolina. And right now I'm working internationally, supporting teachers to do a better job when possible, supporting second language acquisition. So as you are in Nearpod, and if you are not, I encourage you to visit the chat. And let's answer this first question. What does this image evoke? What is your experience in this area? So you see the picture, and here in your Nearpod, you can participate on this poll. So please just share your thoughts. You can click, you can add a picture, you can add a GIF, you can use a word. Just please go ahead. If you read something that you see there, you can also put a heart in something that you agree. Or someone put tears and crying. Yes. Somebody else says a horrible exam. Okay, testing. Let's go back more to the feelings. What the feelings are. Someone says a traditional class, boring. Common class is boring. Someone put this suffer. I love that gift. Testing is suffering. Okay. You can put some hearts in the things that you like the most. Testing has been associated with pain, stress, boredom. But actually, assessment should not be that if it's well done and it has the right intentions. So I always say that exams in the schools cannot be like a pregnancy test, pass or fail. The tests are created for you to improve practices and support what you're doing in your classroom. Assessments in the classroom should be like blood work. Nobody likes it, but it's good to know how things are working inside so you can make the right corrections at the right time. So we have a little text for you, and it said, what do you like to eat? I don't have a rubric for you, but the rubric is a text that is created for third graders who are learning English, and the teacher asks them, tell me what you like to eat. And they have 30 minutes to write something, and they will describe the items or the things that they like to eat. So I will need a volunteer or a victim to read the text for the student number 1. You can see it in your cell phone or you can see it on my screen. So a volunteer or a victim.
I can do it.
Okay, thank you very much.
I like brownies, cake, ice cream, pie, cheese, eggs, bacon, steak, hamburgers, pizza, salad, soup, sandwiches, and chicken. I do not like spinach and carrots. They are not good.
Okay, thank you very much, Adriana. I will just repeat after you the same thing. I like brownies, cake, ice cream, pie, cheese, eggs, bacon, steak, burgers, pizza, salad, soup, sandwiches, and chicken. I don't like spinach and carrots. They are not good. Okay, the student have 30 minutes. Describe what you like to eat. Now, I need another volunteer to read this text from the student number 2. Volunteers or victims?
I can do it.
Okay.
Okay. So it says brownies are most delicious dessert in world because they have gooey chocolate. My favorite. Last night I ate it the whole pan with myself. I make more later and hashtag sorry not sorry.
So same students, same group of students, same class, same amount of time. A text that was created to describe what you like to eat. Okay, we're going to take a couple of seconds to reflect on both the students and the description of what they like to eat. But this is going to be anonymous, so you can make as many entries as you want in your Nearpod and answer the following question. The question should have been updated, but I don't know why it's not updated. The question was, what student should have received the highest score? Ignore that question as is there because it changed it, but it didn't stay. The question is not what do you prefer? The question is what student should receive the highest score? So you just click option A or option B. You can see the text in the top right corner. And the question is not what do you prefer? The question actually is what text or which of the two students should receive the highest score. So I saw some people already voting. Okay. More votes are showing up. Okay. So these are the results of these. 11% think that the student number one, 56 said 55.6 says student number two, and 33% decided not to answer the poll. Okay, so more than half of the group here decided to give a highest score to the second one, and another one just decided to give it to student number one. I'm going to have another question for you to answer in your cell phones. Okay, the question is, what text did you enjoy the most? Please get into your cell phone or in the computer, whatever you're using to see the presentation, and answer. What text did you enjoy the most, student one or student two? You can also say the why if you want to add it into your question. Yeah, we go in order. Someone said the second one, it was more relatable somehow. Okay, thank you very much. The other person says student number two, he didn't just listed the food. Okay. Somebody else says, second one, more communicative purpose. Okay. Someone right in the middle, very diplomatic. Say both. So this person enjoyed both. Maybe was to pick up a side, but thank you. Somebody else says number two. Okay. So now I open the floor for anybody who wants to just say how they feel when you have in a classroom two students completing the task fully, but with two different type of text. How do you feel about that? Any volunteers?
If you want, you can write on the chat or you can just activate your microphone. It's fine.
Yes, that's absolutely fine. Because right now you have two students in the same class that give you two complete different texts. So when you assign the grade, are you handling it?
For me, it's very difficult sometimes. Because of course, those two answers are very different. And some people will say you should actually give a higher grade to the person that it's using the language, let's say, correct, like in a correct way. But at the same time, the other person is trying and it's giving like a more complete answer. So it will be hard for me.
Okay. So right now we're getting into, okay, Adriana Rueda, sorry for calling out, say, it all depends on the rubric, what you're looking for. Okay, the rubric was plain and simple. Describe the food that you like to eat. There was not how many sentences, how many words, because most teachers have different rubrics. But even if both sets describe the food that you like to eat and what you don't like to eat, both of them completed the expected rubric, but one of them decided to go beyond using different tenses, take some risk, but make mistakes when taking risks. So that a student should be penalized. Katie says, part of the instruction were not clear enough. We should revise what we said. Parts of the instruction were not clear enough. We should revise what we said.
I think that even if the instruction, even if we have like the perfect instruction, we need to consider what is our teaching point, but it's not only about what we want to teach, but how proficient they are or what they can show. Because both are following instruction, but they are doing it at the level they're at. So we should not penalize either of them. We should use that as information. Actually, probably this is not the one to grade, but the one that could give us information, because uh, if we think about the rubric, it's also on how we design it, or like what's the teaching point and what information this is giving us.
I appreciate that comment. Thank you very much. So right now we are open to a can of worms that needs to be opened and picked up very carefully. You can get a student a proficiency level, not a grade level. So the students can have different levels in your classroom, but you should not evaluate it as an excellent, an acceptable, an 80% or 100%, but start talking to them about, hey, this is an excellent text for someone with an A2 level, but this is an outstanding text for a B1 level. So the students start learning at what level of proficiency they are producing, which it doesn't make it right or wrong, but are you approaching the next level? Are you on the target of what we need to be producing in this particular class? So the students are not failing or exceeding, but they are being placed at the right level of proficiency. Okay. So Adriana, I appreciate what you said. The rubric should include more details so students understand what is expected from them. For instance, have study adjectives, are supposed to use them. Even if we make the perfect rubric and the student do not meet the rubric, we cannot say you have a higher or a lower score. We need to start talking to them about the level of proficiency where they are and start creating these individualized programs with your students. So we're going to move to start talking about what is the difference between performance versus proficiency. Thank you, Adriana. Yes, it's not a rubric. And that's why, even if we make the most detailed rubric, and then you match the 100 and someone goes beyond but made mistakes, that will be penalized because the rubric is not perfect. But you can allow the students to make certain mistakes and don't match the pass or fail, but to place them into the right level where they are, and then use that information to help them grow. So in the classroom, generally, we are talking about performance. We are teaching the students about adjectives. We're teaching about present tense or future tenses or connectors. And we ask them to rehearse and practice with the structures that they are familiar. So that's performance. Proficiency is when we take our students and give them tasks that are given in real life. So in real life, whenever you are at work, people don't say, write an email that has X amount of letters, X amount of characters, use comparisons, use simile, use juxtaposition, because that's not real life. People in real life tell you, do X, Y, and Z. And how you use all the information that you have learned in the past can be useful for you to move out of performance into proficiency. Correct, Adriana. we're talking about the prompts. That prompts are what come attached to proficiency. Rubrics comes attached to performance. So when we do these two things, the best analogy is what we are doing in sports. If you take a kid who's learning how to play baseball, you take him to a batting cage and give them a bunch of practice with the same ball at the same speed in the same location. We give them a clear rubric telling them exactly how many words, how many adjectives, how many contrasts, how many comparisons should be used. But in real life, it's more like a baseball game where you have to bring all of these rehearsed topics and move them into a real life scenario where the balls might come faster, might come with a curve. So you have the pressure of the audience around you. So we are trying to move the classroom out of the performance and into the proficiency. Generally, when we are talking about performance and proficiency in the classroom, what we do is the practice. We give them the tools, we give them assistance, and then as we are good coaches, we take them for a scrimmage, a friendly game where they can practice everything that they did in the classroom in a safe environment to test how well they can perform what we have taught them already. And that put us into the position of a coach. Okay, he's not running as fast. He's swinging too early, or he's just missing the ball by a couple of inches, generally when he's coming from the left. So we make notes in case of languages. Okay, there is an issue with pronunciation. He is confusing irregular verbs with regular verbs. So we can take those notes and design a plan to help them, again, go back to practice, give them more tools, and repeat the proficiency cycle. When we're talking about the proficiency cycle is that we need to assess where we are, get this data clear, come up with a plan, and then achieve our desired goal. That most of you already should know what is the goal at the end of the education in your particular organization. So why test for proficiency? We have another question coming up on your screen. What do you think it is important to test for proficiency? Let's do this in 30 seconds. It's just a couple of words, and we will be able to share it with the rest of the participants. Okay. Waiting for participants. Thank you. Check they have understood what you taught them. Okay. I like what these participants said. Check they understood what you taught them. I would push it to check if they can produce what you have taught them. Check how they can use what you have taught them. Okay, we have more participants showing here. Perfect. Knowing where they are to inform where they can be with the right scaffold. Love it. Measure their knowledge. The ultimate goal of language learning is to use it in real life. Perfect. I would like to get some clarification, or I don't know if this is the same person. So, but at the same time, should we test for proficiency? The person who wrote at the same time, should we test for proficiency? Can you elaborate in the comments? Thank you. Empower them so they can progress. Yes. The idea, and for someone who says, should we test for proficiency? From my point of view, I can pretend or assume that I'm doing something really well. This is from my own subjective point of view as a teacher. But until you don't try to be in the real life, you will struggle. And if we are not making our students aware of their own proficiency, the real life scenarios are going to be more harsh for them without enough time for them to correct. So years ago, when I was a student in Colombia, I was teaching English and I was a successful teacher. I loved it. But for the first time I moved to the United States and I have to face real life scenarios, I was like, oh my God. I was a very good textbook English speaker, but when the real life scenarios show up, it was harsh. When my boss told me, Andres, I need you just to write this email, an email to a parent about this. And I didn't have how to say how many sentences, how many connections. The idea of bringing proficiency prompts and scenarios into the classroom, not necessarily for a standardized test, it is important. Thank you for the clarification. Grammar is important, however, communication is more important. Amen. I love that clarification. Because when you are assessing for proficiency, there is no grammar questions. There is not conjugation questions. There is no fill the gap. So very good points. Okay. Now we're talking about the certifications. As you're using in your classroom, giving a 100, an excellent, an A, whatever you want to do, right now exists certifications that prove that you are at the level needed for jobs, for new education, for international trading, etc. So we all are aware about what certificates and diplomas. All of your teachers, so you have your teacher certification, you have your university's diplomas. The deal of certification is just a document that proves that you have reached a certain goal, okay? It's creating accountability. When you are at a university, you want to be part of a university that is accredited, that proves that what they are doing at the university is right. You want to be at a school that is creating enough accountability with the program so you can trust your students, your children in those institutions. The idea that accountability is for us to study what we're doing and improve. With language education exists, and many of us, for my generation, who are closer to the 50s, know that before people know, oh, I speak English, but I can do it like this and like that, but they didn't use the right terminology. They don't say, I'm a B1 and a B2 and A1. Right now, it is more common to use it, but it is important to make what is invisible visible. Because if you ever have been in human resources, people come and say, I'm fluent in English. Like, what does it mean to be fluent in English? Oh, I can understand, but I cannot speak. What actually that means? The certifications are making this kind of information visible and tangible, and it's portable. So if you graduated from the Universidad Nacional in Bogota, your title will work in Valle del Cauca, will work in Magdalena, will work in Amazonas. It is portable because you have reached your levels. The same has to happen with your language proficiency, okay? In the frameworks, in Colombia, everybody is aware of the CEFR, the Common European Framework of Reference. Everybody knows about A1, B1, B2, C1, C2. But before that, there also exists the American Council of Teaching for Languages, which is the metric used in the United States and Canada that give us 9 levels of proficiency. Where I compare ACFL and I compare CEFR is like measuring in kilos or measuring in pounds. If you're overweight, you're overweight. Doesn't matter if they tell you in kilos or they tell you in pounds. It's the same as kilometers per hour or mile per hour. If you are speeding, it doesn't matter what metric you're using. So the proficiency in language can be measured in these 2 scales. And there are another one for Asia, and there is another one for the armed forces in the United States. But all of them are valid points. So we should not be married to one or the other, but understand that proficiency can be from two different frameworks. So the United States started the notion of the seals of biliteracy to show that students graduating high school and colleges in the United States are graduating with the right level of communication in their target language. So there exists 50 seals of biliteracy. Every state are issuing a different seal of biliteracy to certify that their students are being proficient, not only in Spanish or French or German, but they are using English and another language at the same level. The seals were implemented and every state has created whatever they want. Like right now you see these are the American framework of what is needed to get a seal of biliteracy. And South Carolina, the state where I live, is represented in 3 levels. You can see that there is a South Carolina level 3 in the advanced low. There is a South Carolina in intermediate high, and there is a South Carolina in the intermediate mid. So South Carolina is one of the few states that has bronze, silver, and gold seals of biliteracy. California and Colorado say any school district decides when someone is biliterate. So everything becomes like a little roller coaster. Some states are really low, some states are really high, some are really loopholes. And it's very difficult to really understand what they are trying to do. And for universities, were complicated because some validated the seat time, others validated the level of proficiency. Some said, oh, the IB test, others says an AP class. So there was not a very good metric between the states. So there's where the global seal of biliteracy appear as a metric that is being used in Asia, Europe, North America, and now getting inside South America. The global seal of biliteracy are giving 3 seals. One is a functional seal. That means that you have a B1 or an intermediate mid. There is a working seal, which is a B2 or an advanced low. And there is a professional seal, which is a C1 or an advanced high. So it doesn't matter if you use the ACFL or the CFR, you can earn a diploma. That is not that you speak English. It is that you speak another language plus your native language at a level that can guarantee your employability and a description of what you can do with the language. In the United States, we can tell what are the states with the strongest bilingual programs. And in this case, it's New Jersey, Texas, Illinois, Michigan, Indiana, has California, Oregon has strong bilingual programs. And this kind of data is important for investors. This is what's happening around the States and around the world. There have been issuing seals of biliteracy because the seals of biliteracy are not married to an exam per se. The seals of biliteracy are a celebration of what the language can be and what level the students are being producing. So in the last 12 months, the seals of biliteracy has grown 1,420%, where students are certifying that they are bilingual, Chinese Spanish in this case, or French Spanish, or German Arabic. In any combination is being a celebration. The majority of the people around the world are having a B1, a functional seal of biliteracy. And the invitation working with Asocopi and around the world is to help people move from a functional to a working, and from working to professional. So not many people are reaching the C1 in more than one language. So it is something that I will encourage Colombia to jump in because I know how good language education in Colombia is. This certification is used to give college credits, and employers in the United States are using it to hire people that are already certified to use 2 languages at the right level. We track the information, we help the students grow, and it's very similar to what we do with our children taking this to karate. They go, they do the same kick over and over, but they are getting new belts showing that they are progressing. And it's something that we need to start doing with our classes. showing them that just because you are practicing again the verb to be, it doesn't mean that you are not learning, but you are getting better mastery of the language. There exists a pathway of proficiency to help students track where they are. This is free. If you visit the website of the Global seal, there is a way to show the students, maybe your listening is the highest level that you have and your writing is the lowest, because not all four skills grow at the same time. And it's important to make our students aware that they are progressing, even if one of the skills are lower than the other three. In the United States, this data has been used to support the departments of commerce, where to invest and how to attract new workforce. This data, if applied in Colombia, will help multiple departments to attract investors and to open businesses where we can certify that there are certified bilingual people to fulfill the jobs that are existing. Okay? Generally, where our students get to graduate, they don't know where they're going. Some universities are saying you need to have a TOEFL. Some others says, no, you need to have Michigan. Others, no, we are married with the IELTS. If you come to the United States and try to work with the armed force, they say, no, we want you to use AVANT. If you travel to Europe, they will tell we need the DELF, the DALF, the CELE, etc. So the students are right in the middle, not knowing where to go. And they are investing a lot of money because every university is asking for a different test, not for a level of proficiency. So they are just spending a lot of money, just not knowing that what they have cannot be transferable because people are married to a test, not to a level of proficiency. So the goal with the Global seal is they accept any of the tests that you see in this presentation, but they will give you a diploma that certifies that you have a B2 or a C1 or an A1 or an intermediate mid. And it doesn't matter with what test you use it, as long as it is a high stake test, and allow these to travel in between organizations, because you care that someone has a level of proficiency, not a test by name, which at the end will help your organization and your students to save money and give them more flexibility to move around the workforce or the education. So this is just going to be quick. AVANT assessment is one of the new assessments that are reaching in Colombia to allow students to test in 150 plus languages. So you can be evaluating Spanish or French or English or German, Japanese, etc. It is a test that gives college credits. And the Global seal is also working with some universities to honor credits in Colombia, or for universities in Colombia to attract American students with seals of biliteracy to study in Colombia and do their undergrads or their masters there. If you're interested, please contact me. The test that AVANT offers is an adaptive test. We have some tests for elementary school, for high schools. We work with the American Council of Education to give college credits because the idea goes back to the proficiency cycle. The idea is for you to assess, which is pretty much what we do on January 1st. Let's step on the scale and see how much damage the Christmas did to our bodies. Then with that data, we start thinking, oh, we need to do something to take care of this. So we start making decisions. We're going to eat better. We're going to start doing some exercise. So at the end, we can feed back into the genes that we bought before the holidays started. This matches with proficiency in our classroom. We need to assess to see where our students are, get that data and identify that maybe our organization are having issues with reading or having issues with speaking, and work together with the teachers to come out with a strategy to improve those areas of weakness and to also accelerate where we're doing well. So at the end, our students can earn the seals of biliteracy that are expected. Okay. I'm about to give you the last two questions. So the question here is, what do you use to track proficiency in your classroom? There is no wrong answer. Just give me some information. What are you using to track proficiency? Even if it's a homemade prompts and activities, those are valid. So let's add this into our chat. So I'm seeing some people participating. Let's write down. Thank you very much for this person that says test, interviews, presentations, and discussions. I really like the idea of the interviews as a way to assess for proficiency. So question, when you do the test or the interview, what feedback is given to the student? A passing grade, an excellent, a 100, or generally is assessed with, hey, this is your level of proficiency. You don't need to answer right away, but if you want, you can add another response. This person, I like these. We use can-do statements to line up. Perfect. The can-do descriptors and the statements goes along with the scales, either CFR or ACFL, allowing the students to be able to know what they can do with the language, and we keep them on track. Okay. Oh, thank you very much. Someone who already used AVANT, use AVANT as a formative assessment once a year to evaluate where they are. Perfect. So the invitation is, there is no right or wrong answer, but it is for us to give details to our students so they can progress at the right pace. Okay? Everybody who goes to the Olympics or to any sport are expecting to get a gold medal, but we cannot aim for a gold medal if we don't know what is our time in the swimming pool or on the track and field. We need to know how fast we are to see if we qualify. And then when we know how fast or how slow we are, we just move on and start swimming or practicing. At the beginning, it might be hard, but we need to start move it forward. So we keep timing, and at the end, we will be able to reach the goal that we are expecting. So we need to evaluate where our students are. We need to come up with a plan. And I encourage you to invest on the global seals of evaluation, as in investment not because of money, but because of time and approvals, because they are free, but it will give your organization value in terms of data, and will allow the global seal to identify what areas of Colombia has the strongest bilingual programs. It will also help Colombia be positioned worldwide about maybe one of the countries with the highest number of bilingual people, Spanish, English. So the invitation is identify where your students are and celebrate where they are with a free tool as the Global Seal is. Okay, so this is the end of the presentation. If you want to reach, if you have any questions, this is the time for you to type it. We have 10 minutes almost. Please write out your question or your comments.
I would activate the microphone if you want to speak.
Yes.
Or if not, if you would like to contact Andres later on, if you would like, Andres, can you share your email or a way for teachers to contact you, maybe?
Yes, people can post something here if they want, but right here, if you click on what you have right on your cell phone on your screen, you can get an appointment to talk to me. So I'll let you be there, but I also gonna put in the chat my Calendly. And this is my email, andres.bernal@avantassessment.com. You can email me, and I can give you all the information that you want about certifications and how you can get there. If you're a teacher who wants to go to an exchange program and come to the United States, we encourage you to also get the Global Seal of Biliteracy, because many school districts are honoring it, and they are looking for teachers who can certify, not that just they speak English, but they speak their native language well. In the case of Colombia, it's easy. We speak Spanish as the first language, but we have many teachers coming from India, Jamaica, who are coming to teach French or Spanish or science, and we want to be sure that they are with the right level of proficiency to task to tasking with the education of our children. Okay, so that is the end of the presentation. This presentation is from AVANT Assessment, and the tool that we used for the presentation was Nearpod. I love using Nearpod because we're able to participate using our cell phones and keep our students engaged and focused with their own devices. Thank you very much, everyone. If you have any questions, you know how to reach me.
Thank you so much, Andres. It was great. It was very, very interesting. I'm pretty sure many teachers will think about this and start contacting you. So we really thank you for that and appreciate having you here as well.
Thank you very much.
Okay, super. Thank you so much. Okay, teachers, before we go, I want to remind you about our conference. So we're going to have a very nice international keynote speakers, as well as national keynote speakers that are going to join us there. And I want to invite you to our next webinar, the one that we will have in June. This is called Lone Star Lessons, Journeys in Public Education in Texas. So Professor Cavieres is going to join us, and we highly encourage you to attend, to not miss that. And just a quick word, if you're not a member yet, we invite you to become part of us a copy, because members get exclusive benefits, including discounts, access to resources, and the chance to be more actively involved in the Colombian ELT field. And as a nonprofit organization, as a copy thrives thanks to the support of people like you. So if you would like to help us continue offering events like this, you can make a donation through our website or scan the QR code that we have there. And also, if you are interested in receiving a certificate of attendance for this webinar, that option is available for a very small fee, okay? So just check the information that we have there in our website. And teachers, everybody who attended, remember to follow us on our social media. We have our Facebook page, X, Instagram. This webinar or information talk is going to be uploaded into our YouTube channel, so you can also find it there. And if you have any questions or you would like to partner with us, you can also send an email to the email address that you have there on screen. So for not taking longer than we are supposed to spend in these webinars, teachers, thank you so much, and we hope to see you in our next webinar. And also, we hope you can join us in Santa Marta. So, thank you so much. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye. Okay. That is great.